Shade the region that satisfies y is greater than or equal to x squared minus 3x minus 4, 2y plus x is less than or equal to 10, and x is less than 2. So let's focus on the quadratic one first of all. I can see that it has a y-intercept of minus 4, so let me plot that on in green here. Now, I'd like to know the roots, so I'm just going to factorise this. So it's got roots of minus 1 and plus 4, and that should be enough now for me to sketch this quadratic roughly onto my graph. This is just a rough sketch, we don't need to be super accurate. Right, so everywhere on that line is where the y is equal to this. But we actually wanted y is greater than or equal to it. So that's where the y coordinates are above the line. So that's everywhere in here. It's not anywhere down here where the y values are less than the graph, are less than the x squared minus 3x minus 4. Right, let's look at the linear graph now. In order for me to sketch this, I want to rearrange it so it's in the form of y equals mx plus c. So I'm subtracting x from both sides, and then I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So I get y has got to be less than or equal to minus 1 half x plus 5. So it's got a y-intercept of 5, and it's got a gradient of minus a half, which means I go along 2, down 1, along 2, down 1. So along 2, down 1, along 2, down 1, and so on. So it's going to look something like that. Now, everywhere on that red line is where the y coordinate is equal to minus a half x plus 5. But we want it to be less than that. So we want it to be below the red line, or equal to the red line. And finally, we need to say that x is less than 2. Notice it can't equal 2. There's no line underneath there. This line is not there, so it can't equal 2. Well, here is where x would be equal to 2. But I'm going to draw a dotted line just to show that it can't be equal to 2. Because it has to be less than that, which is anywhere over here. So, we've drawn the lines onto the graph. Now let's shade the correct region. Remember, we had to have the y being bigger than the quadratic. We had to have y being less than the straight line. So underneath the straight line, above the quadratic, and to the left of x being 2. So that is that region shaded there. That's where x is less than 2. 2y plus x is less than or equal to 10. And y is greater than or equal to x squared minus 3x minus 4. In this example, we're going the other way. I've given you the graph, and we need to go and figure out what the inequalities are that describe it. So the easiest one to do is this vertical line here. I know that line there is the line x equals 1, and we want the shaded region where x is bigger than that, where x is bigger than 1. So I'm going to say that x is greater than or equal. It's a solid line there, there's no dotted line here. This is a solid line, so x is greater than or equal to 1. Next, let's do the the blue diagonal line here. I know it's a diagonal line, so I can say y equals mx plus c. I can see that it goes through the coordinate minus 2, 0, and it goes through the coordinate 0, 1. So its gradient then, the change in the y, take away the change in the x, is a half. So it's y equals 1/2 x plus c, and I can see that the y-intercept is 1, so c is 1. So the blue line there is y equals 1/2 x plus 1. But we needed the region above that, where the y coordinates were greater than or equal to that. So y is greater than or equal to the 1/2 x plus 1. And now finally the quadratic. I can see that the quadratic has got roots of -2 and 4. So that makes me think of factors of x plus 2 and x minus 4. But I know there can and most definitely will be a number in the front here, because I can see it should be a negative for starters. It's an N shape, so it should be a negative quadratic. So there's definitely going to be a number at the front. Before I work that out, let me just expand those brackets. So I'd have an x squared, a minus 2x, and a minus 8. Now I can see that this would have a y-intercept of minus 8. But I actually need a y-intercept of 4. So just comparing my y-intercepts, the 4 equals a times minus 8. So the a is 4 divided by minus 8, which is minus 1/2. So the red line is the graph of y equals minus 1/2 x plus 2, x minus 4. You can expand it out if you want to. And we want the value, we want the region where the y coordinates are below that. So where y is less than or equal to the minus 1/2 times x plus 2 times x minus 4. So those are the 3 inequalities that describe that shaded region.